قرآن واسق حياتي قرآن.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, today we'll be learning 10 lessons from Juz 19. Let's go to our first lesson.
يا ويلتى ليتني لم أتخذ فلانا خليلا لقد أضلني عن الذكر بعد إذ جاءني وكان الشيطان للإنسان خذولا.
The first lesson we get from this juz is avoid bad company. On the day of judgment, a person will regret having made a wrong friend, as friends play an important role in forming our character. In this verse, it is said, the person will say on the day of judgment, I wish I had not taken so and so as a friend. Imam Ali alayhi salam says, if you do not know certain person's character, you can look at his friend's character. If their character is good, then this person's character will be good as well. The message we get here is that our character is being judged by the friends we keep. So one should be careful about the friends he makes.
وقال الرسول يا رب إن قوم اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا.
The second lesson we get from this juz is do not ignore and leave Quran. This is the verse where it shows that on the day of judgment, Prophet will be complaining and he would be saying that indeed my people had taken this Quran as a forsaken thing. If we see who is complaining, the person who will be complaining will be Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he will be complaining to Allah and will be complaining about the people who had taken and left this Quran. So in our lives, we should make changes and try to read and recite Quran as much as possible.
والذين يقولون ربنا اصرف عنا عذاب جهنم إن عذابها كان غراما.
The third lesson we get from this juz is to fear the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A believer is aware that the way Allah is merciful, He is also capable of punishing the sinners. A believer is careful in his deeds as he lives between the fear of Allah's punishment and hopeful for his reward in the hereafter.
والذين لا يدعون مع الله إلها آخر ولا يقتلون النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق ولا يزنون ومن يفعل ذلك يلقى أثاما.
The fourth lesson we get from this juz is turn towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A believer tries not to commit sin. In case he sins, he asks for forgiveness, he does istighfar and returns to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala immediately. When a person commits sins, it is as if he has turned his back towards Allah, and after asking for forgiveness, it is as if he has turned towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is why it is important to ask for forgiveness from Allah immediately. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes the person who repents.
والذين يقولون ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين وجعلنا للمتقين إماما.
The fifth lesson we get from this juz is feeling responsible for one's wife and children. Yes, a believer takes care of his family and wants them to be in the right path. Children should be source of happiness and peace for parents and not vice versa. Therefore, a mu'min has the responsibility towards his spouse and children and to show them the right way. If the father doesn't show the correct way to his family, he would be accountable for that. Therefore, it is the responsibility of both parents, the father and mother, to be a good role model for their family and to show the children the right path.
فلما تراءى الجمعان قال أصحاب موسى إنا لمدركون قال كلا إن معي ربي سيهدين.
The sixth lesson we get from this juz is to have full trust on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help in life. A believer always trusts Allah and feel His presence in his life. He puts his full potential and rely on Allah for the result. In this verse, it is said that when the two hosts sighted each other, the companion of Musa said, "Indeed, we have been caught up." But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the next verse says, He said, referring to Prophet Musa said, "Certainly not. Indeed, my Lord is with me and He will guide me."
وَاجْعَلْ لِي لِسَانَ صِدْقٍ فِي الْآخِرِينَ.
The seventh lesson we get from this juz is leaving behind a good legacy. A believer always wants to leave behind a good legacy. Prophet Ibrahim ﷺ prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give him a good name when he was alive and wished to be remembered as a good person even after his death. We learn from Imam Ali ﷺ that when a person and a believer is alive, people yearn to meet him and after his death cry over him. Our best examples are Ahlul Bayt ﷺ who are remembered even today.
وَأَنذِرْ عَشِيرَتَكَ الْأَقْرَبِينَ.
The eighth lesson we learn from this juz is making an effort to guide others. A believer not only corrects himself, but also tries to guide others and his relatives towards the right path. Just like how Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did, he first invited his family members and later on increased his circle to the relatives and then to the people.
الذي يراك حين تقوم وتقلبك في الساجدين إنه هو السميع العليم.
The ninth lesson we learn from this juz is the importance of congregational prayers. Islam has given an importance to unity and congregational prayers. It is mentioned that praying salah in congregation in jama'ah is better than praying it alone for 40 years. Islam encourages prayers and worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in gatherings as it carries more reward. Therefore, we as a mu'min, we should try to pray in congregation in jama'ah if we have mosques near our houses.
والشعراء يتبعهم الغاوون ألم تر أنهم في كل واد يهيمون وأنهم يقولون ما لا يفعلون إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وذكروا الله كثيرا وانتصروا من بعد ما ظلموا وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون.
The last lesson we get from this juz is to support the oppressed with whatever talent and capability you have. A believer is supporting the oppressed with all his might using his talent and capability. The message we get from this verse is that a believer should stand against oppression and support the oppressed through all means. Whatever talent we have, either doctor, engineer, architecture, whatever we are, we should try to help the oppressed one in any way possible. These were the 10 lessons. Inshallah, we'll come with the next 10 lessons of the next juz. Till then, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
رحمن يا رحمن ساعدني يا رحمن اشرح صدري